Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and we're back with another review. And yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while. The full-on, relaxed, non-rushed or condensed reviews. But maybe I should have done that with this figure. This is Transformers Legacy United Wave 5 Armada Wheeljack, which is basically a repaint, retool of the sideswipe mold from that we first saw way back with Siege. This mold has been used something like 12, 13 times now. A little disappointed because, well, number one, they don't include the Minicon, which was included with the Shattered Glass version of Sideswipe, which was the first appearance of this particular tooling. But number two, while they do include the shoulder cannon and missile that came originally with Siege Sideswipe, I could have sworn that in promotional pictures we also saw it was going to include the laser rifle. Not that I would use it, because it's not something that's used with Armada Wheeljack. And in fact, you see it here, it's gone. But it would just been nice to have. But again, for the cost, the money they're saving, reusing this mold and the plastic here, I think they could have cut this and just included the Minicon. People are saying, well, we'll get a Generation Select release of a group set of Minicons to go with the previously released Armada figures that didn't have them. Whoop-de-doo. Most of them are going to be packed away. What am I? I'm not going to pull them out then. But speaking of pulled away, if you're waiting for a sideswipe comparison, yeah, it ain't going to happen. All my versions are pulled away. But what I can tell you is I do believe the door wings here are new because this is where the twin fuzz peg in, and the hood of the car here is new, which will be the chest and robot mode because it does have that gash, that molded in gash, showing the engine and underside there. So that does look pretty cool. Now there is a little bit of an attack mode here. You can flip open the wings here, which is indicative of how the original toy worked. That was the gimmick. You slap the Minicon on, and these would spring up, and the Twin Fuzz were actually missiles that could launch. So there's that. Now, technically, in robot mode, this should be folded out, but because it's the sideswipe mold, we're going to fold them in. And I believe in the animation, he didn't have that winged pack or what have you. So, other than that, the car still rolls. I mean, it's sideswipe. What do you expect? And I do appreciate the fact that these the Twin Fuzz here, if you can see, do peg in on an angle. So there is that. So it's kind of like a nice design there. So I guess that's about it. So let's get to that transformation. If you're expecting a step-by-step transformation guide, I've covered this figure enough in different ways. Go check out one of the many other reviews. But the big thing here is you just want to pop these Twin Fuzz out on the side here, and then really the transformation goes as it normally does. To be fair, the instructions do some of the steps a bit differently, I guess, to try and make it different. So I do appreciate that. Now, in terms of being another release of this mold, I can tell you that for the most part, everything feels fine. The only problem I have is the fact that the chest right here does not peg in securely. Now, I don't know if that's just my copy or that's the mold finally showing its age. Either way, it is something to keep an eye out for. And it's a little disappointing because when they were pretty good about keeping this mold, solid and tight. So, and it's right here when it comes down. I mean, I'm trying to see if there's another point that I'm missing after all these years to peg it in, but you peg it in and, well, you see that it just doesn't want to stay. There's no mold flash I can see. There's no I don't know if it's the paint, even though I think this is all molded in the black. Yeah, it's Oh, and you do have a new head here. That is nice. It's very close, accurate to the original animation model. Grab the Tunfas, stick them in the hand. Actually, in terms of weapon storage, let me see something here because I just noticed. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, there's actually no weapon storage for these in robot mode. You know, at least with with a side swipe and that blaster, you could always peg it in the back. Like here, you don't want to don't want to display the figure with the cannon. There you go. It's in the back there. Um, but I guess because I just these aren't these tunfas are not storable. Well, and I'm sorry to say that, but articulation, it's the same with this mold that it's always been. Nothing big, nothing earth shattering. I just think, if this chest is going to be the same with all the different is now going to be defective, this should probably be the last use of this mold. There's really not a lot more I can say about this. For those of you who are not familiar with the history, I think originally this was going to be called Sideswipe, but for some reason there might have been a trademark issue, or they didn't want the name Sideswipe associated with a Decepticon, so they went with Wheeljack. And which means this looks absolutely nothing like Wheeljack. Now in Japan, I think they did actually end up calling this Sideswipe or something like that. Which is weird because Sideswipe's Japanese name was Lambor, because it was a Lamborghini. So that doesn't make sense. Even though it was clearly obvious that this did look like Sideswipe, and even the head looked like a update of sorts to Sideswipe. But it's Wheeljack, for better or worse. Bumblebees, Hot Shots, Hot Shots' former friend who blamed him for getting left behind, yada yada, joined the Decepticons, and I actually don't remember much of that story arc. I don't think I ever saw the resolution, so it is what it is. Like I said, this is like the 13th use of the mold. We all knew this was coming when we saw the Shattered Glass Sideswipe. So I wanted to really be excited about this because, I like the Sideswipe mold. But feeling that how that chest is not pegging in, and I'll admit, while it's not loose or some of the joints don't feel as good as they used to, I really think this needs to be the last use of the mold. Um, unless Hasbro is going to invest the QC into making sure each and every single one is top notch, then there's really no point. I appreciate what they did here to make it a little different. We've seen in the past with like the DeLorean, from Back to the Future, what they can do with this mold to really make it different. God, I don't even remember what the name of that character was, but yeah, I got this from Command Store. Good on them. They got it out. It came in like maybe a day before, 2 days before Christmas. And it's here on a couple days after, 3 days after. So, good on them for the shipping. I do appreciate it. I actually, now to be fair, they did say their emails would be light, so I never got a shipping notice from them. But tracking be tracking. Uh, and yeah, this should be showing up in retail soon, I hope. Wave 5 is really one of those waves where it's gives you a chance to get some molds you might have missed, or repaints like Wheeljack that you might be interested in. The only other figure from this wave that I've going to pick up is that G2 Breakdown, and I don't even know why, since I'm still I think Dead End was the other one, the one from the Walmart wave. I Still haven't gotten that one, but I guess I'm kind of committed to getting the G2 Deluxe Stunticons. But I mean, Wheeljack is Wheeljack. I appreciate what they did here, but again, if it's just gonna, if this mold is starting to show its age, call it a day on it. Let's, who knows? Maybe we'll get something in Studio Series 86 that'll be the definitive version of Sideswipe at a mass retail release. But that's about it for the review. If you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I always appreciate the views, likes, comments, and subscriptions. Help communicate to YouTube through the algorithm that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. No thrills, no tears, no special rewards. All you're doing is helping me help you to help me help you bring figures like Wheeljack here to you, as well as keeping up the infrastructure of the channel. If you have some extra Christmas money burning a hole in your pocket, by all means, send a buck here my way. But as I always say, if you can't swing the $1 a month, $12 a year, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday, and I really do hope that all of you had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday season, and hope you have a happy New Year. I'm sure I'll speak to you before then, but until then, this is your old pal Chuck for Armada Wheeljack. We will see you next time.